And I thought it couldn't get any worse. I really, really thought it couldn't get any worse in the defence force for this. What I'm going to tell you is something that people will not believe me for. And will never believe me, because I can't imagine why you would spend millions and more millions in building Irish Navy ships to sail around the world, to sail around Ireland, and then you know what you do? You're like, oh, do you know what? We treat our men and women like absolute dog shit. And my apologies for my unpolitical language, but at the moment in time, I think it's very, very necessary, because these tickheads in the Department of Defence and the Minister for Defence are just are really just tickheads. Like, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to read this out, and you will not believe me. Believe me, you will not believe me, because I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. And it's beyond it when I couldn't believe it. And I heard many stories, and I heard huge amount of stories. Irish Navy sailors, right? Forced to sleep on ships. Basically sleep on the decks outside the ships. It's because of the lack of accommodation. Basically, sleep on the guns on the top of the ship. Sleep on the deck, where the sea could come up and sweep you overboard at any minute. Do you know what? Because there's no beds. The Irish state has no such thing, no money at all. Oh, why not? Is it that hard? They might as well go and sleep in the street. I mean no disrespect to the homeless crisis and all the rest. But seriously, that's more or less what they're more or less saying to them. Go and sleep in the street. I wouldn't... Like, it's a joke. And you know what else? The last 2 days, 2 ships of the Irish Navy have been docked up. And they won't be moving for a long, long time, because there's nobody's personnel to activate them. And to sail around the world. And it's just getting absolutely a joke. This is a joke. It's not even a joke. It's unbelievable. This is not real life. If this is the Republic, and basically called the Soldiers' Republic, and so the national anthem of Ireland's called the Soldiers' Song. If this is the Soldiers' Song, what they call it. This is what the founding fathers of Ireland found women too. What, it was the Soldier Republic, and it might not make sense, but they wanted an armed forces that were fit to fight and have a bit of combat wit, instead of having them sleep on ships. At least they had a bit of decency years ago. They had a bit of decency to at least give them a blanket. A blanket and a bit of a bed. Might have been not much for bed, but putting them on a ship. And you know what I tell them? Go and sail and help migrants in the Mediterranean. And you know what, where you can sleep? You can sleep out on the decks. And nobody cares about our sailors. Should they never done anything? And I say this to Leo Fracco. Would you go and sleep on a ship in the middle of the ocean? On the deck of a ship. In the middle of the... Say it was in the Atlantic and they're doing patrols around the Atlantic. Would you sleep on the deck in a storm? Would you? Because some of these sailors have to. Have to. And I use the word have to. Because they're not being offered any better places. It's a joke. It's really, really, and I have another story to cover about the defence force, and I'm really, 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 really on the edge of my seat with the government about this issue. Like, it's an absolute joke. It's a joke. I would not blame, and if anybody joined the defence force now, I might as well say it. I don't know what you're taking. I literally don't know. Go and find some other job. Go to Australia. But don't join the defence forces, because you're just ruining your life. Like, this is not a life. At least if you join the army, expect hardship. This is unbelievable hardship. This is not something like a prisoner of war camp. At least people in Nazi concentration camps had better conditions than this. And the people in Irish prisons, Mountjoy and Loughlin House and the rest of that, have better conditions than this. At least they have a bed. They have PlayStations in their bloody cells. And now they're like, do you know what? We put our sailors out in the middle of the bloody sea, and then they can sleep on the back side of the ship. And then people who shoot each other in Dublin, do you know what? They get full VIP treatment, because they're the people who deserve it in society. Enough.